All right, Shalom. First and foremost, want to give all honor, glory, and praise to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakarpadash. Double honors to the elders of Great Millstone, and peace and salutations to the brothers that are doing this work with sincerity. And we're going to jump right into the lesson. This is Matthew, the 13th chapter, and we're going to start at verse, let me see here. Salak. Verse 24. And this is Matthew 13:24. Another parable put he forth unto them, saying, this is Yahweh Shai speaking parables. It says, the kingdom of heaven is likened to a man which sowed good seed in the field. But while men slept, his enemy came and sowed tares among the wheat, and went his way. But when the blade was sprung up and brought forth fruit, then appeared tares also. So it speaks about a mixing of two different seeds, wheat and tares. The wheat was planted by the the kingdom here like to man was so good seed. The good seed is basically the bloodline of Israel. While man slept, his enemy came, so tares among the wheat went his way, and that tares are, that's basically speaking of the bloodline of Esau, Jacob and Esau. You know, the ancient, at the time, ancient time, the never-ending story of good and evil, so to speak. It said, but when the blade was sprung up and brought forth fruit, then appeared the tares also. So the servants of the household came and said unto him, Sir, did not thou sow good seed in thy field? From whence then has it tares? And he said unto them, an enemy has done this. The servant said unto him, well then thou that we go and gather them up? We said, nay, lest we while you gather the tares, you will also we also with them. Let both grow together until the time of the harvest. And I will say to the reapers, gather ye together first the tares, and bind them in bundles to burn them, but gather the wheat into my barn. So this speaks about future judgment. You know, it was go ahead and scriptures come to mind, among my people are found wicked men. Go ahead and get that. Let me see if I can rephrase it. Pause this. This is First Maccabees 1:11. In those days went there out of Israel wicked men, because they basically sided with the enemy, who persuaded many, saying, let's go and make a covenant with the heathen that are round about. For since we departed from them, we have had much sorrow. So this device pleased him well. So among Israel there is wicked men. Let's go back to Matthew. There is tares among Israel. And there's going to be a judgment where the Lord's going to separate the tares of Israel, the wicked men and the elect, and those that sided with the enemy, and he's going to make judgment. Now the tares specifically speaks about basically those individuals that this tares in the parable specifically speaks about those individuals that look like Jake, but their bloodline goes back to the enemy, to the heathen, to the Edomite. You know, you could have a so-called man that looks like a so-called black man, but his bloodline goes back to a Edomite. Just like you can have a so-called white man, a man that looks like a so-called white man he looks like an Edomite, but his bloodline goes back to Israel. This is the wheat and the tares. But also among that number as well is going to be the wicked of Israel, who have sided with the enemy. Now ultimately they will be in the kingdom because all Israel will be saved. but they were going to receive the judgment of the enemy. Let's go and get Sirach 9 and 11. It says, no, Sirach, that's not that I wanted. Let's see here. And it says, Sirach 9 and 11. And this is what the wicked men of Israel did. They envied, they wanted to side with the enemy and receive his comforts, to receive his benefit, so to speak. It says, envy not the glory of a sinner, for thou knowest not what shall be his end. So, among Israel, you got wicked men, or you can call them sellouts. And they're going to receive the same judgment as the terrorists do. You know, those that or the Edomite, the same judgment of the enemy, because they're going to be destroyed by the ICBM nuclear fire and the laser beam by the chariots. They're going to receive that judgment. And ultimately, we always got to emphasize this. They will be in the right mind in the kingdom, but on this side, they are going to receive the judgment of the enemy. Even not now the glory of a sinner, for thou knowest not what shall be his end. Unite not in the thing that the ungodly have pleasure in. But remember, they shall not go unpunished in their grave. So, they're going to have a lot of our people siding with the enemy, envying the glory of a sinner, his technology, the way he's going to be able to do things in the near future. If you bow down to his system, they're going to be envious of that. So let's go ahead and get Psalms 38, and to prove that they're going to receive the same judgment as the enemy, that which is going to be burning. Let's go ahead and get Psalms 37, Salak. 37 and 38. So this is Psalm 37, 38. And it says, but the transgressors shall be destroyed together. The end of the wicked shall be cut off. So there's another scripture that comes to mind. Let's go ahead and find it. This is going to be Proverbs 11 and 21. And you're seeing examples of that, where these jakes, they want to get friendly with the Edomite, and the Edomites end up lynching them, killing them, leave them out in the desert someplace. That just goes to show you, man. Judgment is ultimately coming for them, but the Lord's using them to judge you. It says, Proverbs 11:21, though hand join in hand, the wicked shall not be unpunished, but the seed of the righteous shall be delivered. Though hand join in hand, the wicked shall not be unpunished. So, if you join hands, or you envy the sinner, you go with the transgressor, and you bow down to his system, and you want to receive his benefits and his wages, guess what? The Lord's going to give you that same judgment. Let's get Exodus 23 and 2, because we were told to stay away from them, man. Let's go ahead and get that. Exodus 23 and 22, it says, 23 and 2, Shalak. It says, what sort of verse? Well, thou shalt not raise a false report, put not thine hand with the wicked to be a righteous witness. Thou shalt not raise a false report. And that's what the sellout Jake does. The sellout of our people, the false teachers do. They put out false reports. They side with Christianity. They push the doctrine of the devil. Thou shalt not raise a false report. Put not thine hand with the wicked to be an unrighteous witness. They're sellouts. Basically, that's another word. Sellouts. Apostle Tahar, he deemed this year the year of the sellouts, apostates, and agents, or something to that effect. So thou shalt not follow a multitude to do evil. Neither shalt thou speak in a cause to decline after many rest judgment. Thou shalt not follow a multitude to do evil. You see that? And that's what our people were going to, or they're going to do that in taking that chip and wanting to receive uh, uh, the benefit. Let's go ahead and get another one that came to my mind. And be not the oppressor. So this is the line that's going to be drawn in the sand. In the days to come. Should you this day whom you shall serve, right? See if I spell it. I'm just going to go in. That's not what I wanted. Proverbs 3:31. It says, "Envy thou not the oppressor, and choose none of his ways." And the point of the lesson is that there's going to be wicked men of our people. They're going to side with this devil, and they're going to receive the judgment of a tear, the burning. Ultimately, like we always got to bring out, they will be good in the kingdom, but they're going to receive the judgment of the wicked. Meaning they're going to be burned with that fire. They're gonna feel that heat. Let's go ahead and get another one. Proverbs 24. It's a lot. Put that over here. Proverbs 24:19. And it says, fret, right there, Proverbs 24:1. It said, "Be thou not envious against evil men, neither desire to be with them. For the heart studies destruction, the lip talk of mischief." That's Jake, man. Jake in the world. He want to be in his circles. And he want to be in the, look at the celebrities, the athletes, the multi-million-dollar celebrities, multi-million-dollar athletes, musicians. They want to be in those circles. Look at Mr. Diddy, the diddler, like they call him. He wanted to be in the circles of the wicked of the earth. Those doing the perverse things that they do. And look where that got him. And also he's going to receive a judgment as well. He's going to receive the same judgment of the wicked. Now he will be right in the kingdom, but in the beginning of the kingdom, he's going to have his head down in shame. He said, "Be thou not envious against evil men, neither desire to be with them, for their heart studies destruction, and their lips talk of mischief." Now we're going to jump down to verse 19. "Fret not thyself because of evil men, neither be thou envious at the wicked." And that spirit's going to be in the elect. We're not going to be envious of evil men. They're envious of us, because we are going to receive power and salvation, ultimately power, and we are going to rule over them, through our big brother, Yahweh Shai, who receives all the glory. So, "For there shall be no reward to the evil man, and the candle of the wicked shall be put out." See that? So the candle of the wicked shall be put out. So you're going to receive the fate of the wicked. The 2/3 of our people are going to receive the fate of the wicked. I mean, they're going to feel that heat. They're going to feel that fire. They're going to get the judgment of the terror. The wicked men found among Israel, the deceivers and liars of Israel. That's going to happen, man. And the Lord's going to come back, and He's going to take what's His, He's going to burn the rest. And it's going to be divine judgment, and this kingdom ultimately going to be set up back in righteousness. And after the Lord has done that, then all of Israel will be good, and everything will be put back in order. With that being said, Most High willing, it was an edifying lesson. With that, I want to give all honor, glory, and praise to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. Kal Halal, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. Brothers, keep on pushing. Shalom.